Tommy was all business when I met him. For real.
You met at the gym. You never went to the field, did you?
No. I met him at the gym. I met Harrison at the gym. Harrison was all business for sure. But Harrison was immediately like wanting to talk to me about like nutrition.
I remember that day.
See,
was that the first day? Was that your first day there?
That may have been my first day there, but I was about to say like I was probably cranked off pre-workout, so I was probably just like just not.
We're gonna do an intro later, but this is too good to not just keep going. So
you were all about the arm farm.
Hey,
it was all about
so
the
Bryce,
arm
when
farm.
you
We
talk,
would
I
kill
want your face in that mic, son.
Right up in here.
That's right.
That does sound a lot better.
Yeah.
You were all about the arm farm when I first met you.
Oh yeah, you already know. I mean, Fridays. That was that.
What
wasn't
is
it, son? It was
what is the
Fridays.
arm farm?
That's all you would ask for. He'd be like, "What can we get the arm farm in, please?"
No, that was Saturdays.
You wanted arm farm.
Buys and tries,
I-
dude.
Is that
I
you're
wanted
saying?
it,
Is
yeah.
like it's like I'm only gonna lift arms? Is that what that was like? Are we insinuating?
Yeah, to look good in the jersey.
I was about to say,
Basically.
punter's got to have jacked arms.
Not gonna lie, like last year going into the season, I was kind of puffy. I was kind of
It
puffy.
was arm farm.
I was a solid like 203 going into the season.
Now there was a recent Instagram photo, if I do remember, Tommy, where you were looking
Yes, sir.
jacked AF, and I want to say, I mean, the teammates were jumping in on the comments like, "Damn, most ripped punter in the league," things of that nature. Is that right?
not at the moment. Not at the moment. I don't have quite the size I had, but
What was the biggest weight you got to?
203. Yeah, last year. Yeah.
Above 200, but you were jacked, dude.
Yeah, I was pretty like I said,
Vasky, some would say.
I was pretty puffy. Yeah.
But in a good way.
I love good way.
Hey, when we say puffy, we're thinking like, oh, you have no cuts. Like you were cut up. I thought at 203.
I was pretty cut up.
I love puffy as a term of being jacked. I'm gonna start using that.
Man, I would have to start using different words for me.
I'm puffy right now.
I've been using puffy for a while, guys.
Yeah.
I just didn't think of it as a term of endearment.
You got to expand your vocabulary.
That's it's on me.
Straight puff's not a good thing.
So you've been training with Bryce for how long right now?
I guess it's been like over a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. And what do you like when you train with Bryce? Bryce, I want to know this. Are you training with Bryce, or is there a business name to it right now?
Right now it's Bryce.
That's right.
Bryce is the business name.
Yeah.
Bryce LLC.
Yeah.
Trained by Bryce, TBB.
Yeah, no, that's
You can give me money for that later for that one.
TB13.
Yeah.
yeah,
No one's heard of that one yet.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah, huh?
yeah, working on that right now. That's transition mode right now for that. But
All right, so we're all over the place. I want to do a quick intro.
Yeah, do the intro.
Okay, welcome to the Protein Bros podcast. I am your host, Jeff Wasserman. With me always is my co-host, Kyle Combs. Say what's up.
What's going on, guys?
And we are having a phenomenal night. It's a totally different kind of episode for us. We got two different guests known for separate things, but they actually work together. We got on here Bryce Simmons. Say what's up.
what's up, everybody?
And Bryce is a gym owner here in town. He has owned multiple gyms. He's also got his hands in training. He's also got his hands in sports performance training. He trains some high-level athletes. One of them here is Tommy Townsend, punter of the Kansas City Chiefs. Say what's up.
Howdy.
That's good. So we got two very, very different personalities, but they're actually you guys are actually quite similar. Someone even say good friends.
Some might say.
Depends on the day of the week.
Some might even say neighbors at this point. So what we do here at the Protein Bros podcast, we try to bring on some people who have been able to make a name for themselves in the fitness community here in Kansas City, because it's just very difficult to actually make a living with their love or passion for fitness. And we have so many people that we've met over the years that have tried to go from working their standard 9-to-5 job to trying to make fitness a career. And it's extremely difficult to do. And so you've had some difficult obstacles, I know, Bryce, along the way, and I want to talk about how you've gotten through those things. Is that cool?
Yep. Anything you want to know.
All right. Sounds like a plan. As always, guys, we appreciate it if you do share the podcast. If you know people here in Kansas City that are into fitness, please let them know about us. We try to bring on the most influential people. Hopefully you guys learn something from it. And if not, be extremely entertained. Kyle's a really funny guy.
I'm super hilarious.
Full of jokes.
I got the first thing that I think that we should talk about for sure is that Bryce has some special news about an addition in his life. You're going to have a baby.
I am.
And not you, but your wife is going to have a
Yeah,
baby.
she's with child right now.
She is with child.
Yeah, April 23rd on our first wedding anniversary. anniversary. So
If that actually happens, that'll be amazing.
I looked that up. It's a 2% chance
Yeah.
that your due date gets nailed.
I was about to say we haven't had it yet.
But like, think about that. Why do they even bother doing a due date if it's only a 2% chance? To just say, hey, you're due sometime in April.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, literally, I was like, cause that'd be kind of cool. I mean, Amanda's not a fan of it.
What would
She
be
wants
like
it to be
I know that Amanda's already done this. What's that word I'm looking for? Like, is like the baby going to be a Taurus or like a Pisces?
Oh Jesus!
Astrology.
The astrology. Yeah.
No, only thing she's told me is that the birthstone's a diamond. So
April.
she's made sure
She's
I know.
just making
I'm an
shit
April
up.
baby. I know.
Just made sure I'm aware.
The birthstone is a diamond for sure for April.
Yeah.
As a dude, it's completely irrelevant.
Yeah, Jeff, what's your sign?
I'm a Taurus.
You're a Taurus.
Yeah, which is funny because I'm definitely a Taurus based on me being so stubborn. The bull is like our symbol or whatever, and Amanda would butt heads for real. If your child ends up being a Taurus, we'll find out, but it'll be funny.
I mean, she's February. What is that?
I don't know. I only know my own.
No idea.
you,
Luke,
Kyle?
Luke, get on it.
I'm a Leo, dude.
I'm a Leo.
Yeah.
August what?
I'm July 29th.
Okay, August 4th.
Tommy's looking it up. He's our new Luke. It's all good.
Hey,
I got you.
Are you having a boy or girl?
You know, we find out any day. So we did
shit.
the early blood work on Monday, I think it was. And so we find out tomorrow or next week. So, but looking at the ultrasound, everyone thinks it's a boy. It looks like a boy.
It really did, man. It had some like Peter Pan hair,
Yeah.
but even though it was his arm.
Yeah, no, it very much. Just the face looks like a boy. Now,
Well,
if
what's-
we're wrong, I'll be ecstatic.
What's
too,
Amanda's
so.
exact birthday? Tommy's about to bring this up. There's got to be two different ones.
February 6th.
So yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's what I've never understood about like all these signs and stuff like that. Is like, it seems like they're all separated by about a month. So this one says,
Why couldn't it just been straight up a month,
why
right?
why don't you just make it like February, like March, April, you know? But so yeah, so February 19th or later, that's a Pisces, and if it's January 20th to February 18th, that's Aquarius.
She's an Aquarius.
So, but see what I'm saying? Like January 20th, like February 18th, that's like it's
a month.
So
almost
random.
exactly a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There must be like 13 signs or something like that. And there's, you know what, we're offending the hell out of somebody who's really into this right now. They're just
for
like, I
sure.
can't believe you didn't know this. But, you know, also I've had a girl. I've learned, like, if a girl asks you what's your moon sign, just
You
to
just
run.
Yeah. Get the hell away
You're
from
not
her.
winning that battle. Like,
I've seen like a lot of memes about stuff like that lately. Like if she asks you like what time you were born and you
Right.
can like give like a for sure answer, she's like, oh, run, like whatever.
yeah,
Like,
she's trying to figure out your moon sign or whatever.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, dude, I've learned all of these things. Or like there could be like a second moon sign. There's also, I was just told this recently. You can have like a second sign. Like I'm a Taurus, but my something is something else, and I could be like also, and like you're gonna act more like that second sign. And I have no idea. Someone hopefully comments and tells us this later.
Well,
Yeah.
so I was wondering what that is, because if you go to Chinese food or Asian restaurant, they've got a whole nother placemat in front of you that tells you the different same months you're something else. What
Well, these are your animals now. This is totally different.
Yeah.
What
I'm a
designates
dragon or some shit.
Yeah,
Oh, the
but-
year you're born.
I have no idea what mine
The year you're born is
And
like the
some
year
of
of the dragon or the
Oh,
year of
yeah.
the rat or
Oh,
something.
like the
Yeah.
Chinese New
yeah,
Year
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's your symbol for that.
do they all tie in, or are they all just their own thing?
I don't know.
Like, does your birthstone have anything that ties in with what you're looking at on your
So
placemat here?
yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you are a diamond, you're also a Taurus, also a second moon sign Pisces, also your year. I don't know. I have no idea.
You're the bull.
None of none of these things tie together, but I'm sure they do, and I'm sure somebody is really like hurting between the ears right now listening to this.
So
Someone
there's
needs
this
to-
there's this girl that I met in Hawaii like after the season, and she would just absolutely just be, her skin would be crawling right now if she heard us talking about this, just because like she like knows everything there is to know about this stuff, and she was trying to educate me, and I not for me.
All
Let's just say
right.
that.
Are you still in contact with this girl?
I mean,
We could. We could reach out to her.
Instagram. Yeah. I have her number.
I think we need to figure out what our signs are after this. We need to reach out to her like, hey, I'm born this time.
I guarantee if I texted her right now, like with our birthdays, she would probably be able to tell us like everything, like paragraph for each of us probably.
Okay, well,
Phone a friend.
I think we need to do this by the end of the episode. We're gonna revisit this for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But just know that I'm a Taurus, And Kyle, what's yours?
Leo.
Leo. All right. So Taurus, a Leo. And
right
we need to
there,
figure
Leo.
out how compatible we are with, other signs and so forth.
Shouldn't you know what someone is without actually having to ask them if they're really true what they are?
Dude, you should be able. I mean, if you're really
Leo, come on.
if you're really in tune, can't you just like talk to him, listen to him, and be like, oh, that's my sister's really into this stuff. She'd be like, oh, that's the Leo coming out of you, or whatever.
Have you guys done any of the old wives' tales to find out if it's a boy or girl? Where it's like you can see the line on the stomach or any of that?
Yeah, she's got some. This one's absolute baloney. Where you put a ring on a hair, and if it goes in circles, it's something. That's bullshit to me. But yeah.
So what's Amanda think it is?
She thinks it's a boy. She and apparently heartbeat has something to do with it too. And right now,
He's got a lower heartbeat.
Yeah, at 160 at 12 weeks, which I was talking to a friend Garrick of mine. He was saying he has had 2 girls, and both of them were like 180, 190 at this point. And he's like, "Hey, what's the heartbeat?" I was like, 160. He goes, "Oh, congratulations, man, you're having a boy." And I was like, "All right, for whatever that's worth." So,
what are the odds that like girls just have higher stress in the womb?
Already, they're already freaking out before they even come out.
Dude, I'm having a boy in a month, and my wife's pregnancy this time has been like way more chill. Like the boys just not been kicking nearly as much as both my daughters. They were just absolute maniacs in the womb, and my son has been like way chill. She's getting a lot of like, well, I guess she's too early to know any of that, isn't she? How far along is she?
I think she's 13 weeks now.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah, no. When we got the ultrasound, you could see ears, nose, everything, which was way more.
She could probably feel flipping around in her stomach, but she's definitely not feeling like it.
Yeah, she's feeling all sorts of something right now.
Dude, it only gets worse.
This is baby number one, right?
This is number one.
Number one. You guys got married this year.
Yep.
In this pregnancy.
That was quick work, bud.
Dude,
well, the
it was
next
planned.
day,
He said it was planned.
So the next day, my older brother pulled us into like the hotel room, and it was like, "Hey, didn't want to tell you guys before, but we're expecting our baby in December." So him and his wife. So
that's perfect.
It's like, all right, well, that kind of sped up the time frame just a little bit. So we went on our honeymoon. We're like, you know what, if it happens, it happens. And then came back, didn't happen. But we were like, you know what, let's wait a little bit. And then about a month after, we were like, you know what, let's go for it.
Yeah.
And one cycle in, got her done.
Wow.
So, it's the Leo in me.
Yeah,
so.
I was about to say, Leo coming out.
Yeah, there it is.
Taurus couldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
No.
She already typing?
I'm working on it. I'm typing. Yeah.
She's already seen the messages.
I haven't sent it yet. Yeah,
okay.
I'm
it's something good.
trying to figure out how to approach this because I haven't
She's
talked
gonna
to
be
her
like,
in
I
months.
knew we were meant to be
I'm on a
together.
live. Just say it's a live radio talk show. Like I need an answer. I need it now.
I need it now.
So here's what I want to talk to you about getting started, because the listeners, we haven't talked to them yet about just your businesses, what you've started, how you've started it, etc. For our listeners, this is a big deal because you already have, we already talked about one baby on the way. Now you have another one that we can say has just arrived, and that is your new business.
Oh, yeah. Out of nowhere.
Came out of nowhere.
2 weeks ago, wasn't even a thought.
And now you're the proud owner of a new gym.
Yep. It's can kind of go into that if you want to go backstory of the bigger thing. We can get into that a little bit later. But yeah, long story short, on Facebook about 2 weeks ago, local gym here called Element Fitness. Honestly, I'd never heard of it before, but over on 80th and Quivira, they had posted, "Hey, sorry to tell you guys, all of a sudden we were going to be closing down October 28th. So I got in my car and drove over there and walked in the door and said, "Who do I need to talk to figure out why you guys are closing, if there's any way we could save this thing?" And the lady at the front desk was like, "Oh my gosh, if you could save this would be awesome." And gave me the owner's phone number. And long story short, we got the deal done in about 5 to 6 days and transferred over all the ownership of all the members, equipment, signed a new lease.
For you guys
It's always that
listening,
easy.
Yeah, for you guys listening, you guys need to understand one thing here, and that is what he did right there is just unheard of. Me and Kyle, or Kyle and I should say, we've been going at like a lease for a new space for roughly like 6 months at this point, just the back and forth of a 1,200 square foot space. And Bryce just, purchased what's 20,000 square foot?
23.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, just a little above that. And yeah, it's been open
A
damn near
23,000
30
square
years,
foot gym. And it's done. I mean, all the paperwork's done.
Everything's done. Bill of
6
sale
days.
on all the equipment, all the lease 5-year dealio on that.
Came out with a number. It was that simple, man. That's just unbelievable.
I think it's important though to kind of backtrack and let everybody know that that doesn't just happen, to somebody first time. When you first started in the fitness industry, you were a general manager of a.
Oh no, you were just a sales rep that started. You had to get promoted up to GM.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
LA
No,
Fitness?
I was working out at an LA Fitness.
Yeah.
And
How old
year
were
was
you?
this?
How old were you?
I just turned 19, and I was working out in there, and the guy who was the general manager just came up to me. As at the time, I was part of the Legionnaire program for First Form.
Oh,
and
nice.
Early on, so yeah, that was about 10 years ago, and I had all my First Form backpack, First Form clothes, everything. And the guy came up, asked like what I did. And I was like, oh, I'm part of this program back in Midwest from Kansas City, and he was like, oh, I've seen people come up and respond well to you. Because you have any interest in working in the gym industry? And I was like, no, zero interest. I just never thought. My dream was to be a general manager of a sports franchise. I mean, I was at GCU at the time in their sport management program, and that was the route I was going.
That's Grand Canyon University.
Yeah.
For us Midwesterners that don't venture out that way.
The one you see all the TV commercials for.
Dude, ever since you said GCU to me once, all of a sudden I feel like I see commercials for it all the time.
It's all over the place.
That's crazy.
Now that people hear about it, they'll see it all the time now, so you're welcome for that.
Yeah,
You'll
GCU, man.
notice it all
Grand
the
Canyon
time.
University.
Yeah.
We all know and love.
Yeah. So, anywho, the guy came up to me and was like, hey, you got any interest in working here? And I had zero interest. But I really, at the time, I had a job with Phoenix Suns. And my wife now, at the time, girlfriend, she was
Starting point guard or
center.
Oh, nice.
He's
5'2",
cute, though.
5'2", 180 at the time, probably. Grown a full 4 inches since then. But anyways, Amanda's actually the one that told me to entertain it, because she's like, at least hear this guy out. And he gave me the whole spiel. He was like, oh, you come in, make 6 figures. The sky's the limit. It's all results driven. And I'm a competitive asshole. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a go. So started off as a sales counselor, and literally 2 weeks into being a sales counselor, I was the number 1 sales guy in the entire company. And they track it by commission. And they then were like, hey, you know what? We've got the actual club I was in, they were pulling a manager out to go do another club. And they're like, hey, can you be the weekend general manager? So you run the club basically Friday through Sunday. And
the shift nobody wants.
Yeah.
But you're responsible for the weekend. So
But it's an opportunity for you.
It's a promotion. So now it's the weekend
what
general manager. Yeah.
But that's what people need to understand, is that like there's a lot of people that would squawk at that, like, oh, they're just giving you the weekends, like they just don't want that shift, blah blah blah. But you saw it as an opportunity and you were hungry and you took it. But I'm saying you're saying it's not a big deal, but I'm just telling you, there's just a ton of people that just wouldn't see that as an opportunity like you did. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, and what was crazy about it is I was now a manager at 19 years old with no management experience, but it really was a glorified title of a sales position. But you actually had to manage. Like on the weekend, everyone reported to you, and I had to try to learn all that overnight. But you were responsible for the numbers of the club. So if the club did well on the weekend, it was your fault. If it was bad, it was also your fault. And that club, the first 2 weekends that I was the weekend general manager of it, was then before new member sales, the number 1 club out of like the 780 at the time. They had a bottom feeder club on east side of Phoenix called Las Sendas, which is over in Mesa. And they were like, hey, do you want to take this club? It's a C-level club. No one wants it. It's a terrible club, never hits bonus, anything.
How do you rate a club, just so we can better understand?
Your new member rate, basically. So they all have roughly the same member base. Some of them will obviously be bigger than others, but they set their goals based off of the sales the year before. So in May, just pulling a number out, if they had a revenue of 200 new members added, then they'd have a gross, whatever that revenue entailed, but basically it'd be like your goal for that month would now be $22,000 added. So your daily goal would be $700 gross revenue, and then your EFT would be like 120, so like 3 memberships added. And that, if you're that low, it's your expectation. So your C level and A level would be like $2,800 in gross per day with like a $600 or $700 EFT add. So it goes up each year. So like for that month, that May, even though that was your goal and you just hit like 300%, the following May, your club would be an elevated club. So this one was consistently just bottom feeding.
Yeah. No one was respecting this location.
Yeah. So I guess luck followed me, because they just had literally a month being in there. They sent me over to that gym as the general manager, and the first month as a general manager was number 2 overall of all the A, B, and C clubs as far as
in growth.
In growth, yeah, and in gross.
That's awesome.
And then was number 1 in our level of the C's, and then So I did it for 3 straight months and was number 1 of ours, and then took it to an A-level club that would be qualified for those 3 months for the following year.
Well.
Yeah.
And you were working
very
like 90 hours a week at this time?
I went that first month before I took on that club. I worked every single day from open to close. Didn't take one day off. It was literally, I lived there, and there's times I even slept in the kids club. Like it was.
Wait, dude! Don't tell people that.
Yeah, I mean, when it was closed, they literally had these.
The kids weren't there.
The kids like
important to annotate. Yeah, the kids weren't in there.
They had these tunnels that had probably like a 1/4 inch of rubber like padding on it. And that was my mattress. So,
Nice.
So you slept in like the tubes?
Yeah, basically. But
of a play place?
I mean, fortunately, again, 5'2", 180 at the time, I actually fit inside the tube because
you had a growth spurt at like 20.
You weren't puffy back then.
No, I wasn't puffy. I wasn't full of puff yet, and it wasn't looking good yet, like old Tommy boy over here.
Hell, son.
Barry over here. But anyways, no, it was like I said, what you put into it was basically what you got out of it. And I saw it as an opportunity to run with it, and then. Long story short, they were at the time, we just basically had no competition in the area other than 24-hour fitness, but we never even talked about them. So we started talking of, hey, let's buy out the 24-hour fitnesses in the area.
Didn't they like let you broker that too?
Yeah, so it was part of the whole process on that. And they literally, the deal went down, bought them all out, and they basically took over the entire market. And right after all that got done, I was living in a place downtown in Phoenix, and
I remember you showing me pictures of this, like floor to ceiling glass, like baller apartment downtown.
It was a nice little spot. Yeah. It was over the it was over the arenas down there.
Well, dude,
cool.
when you're working your ass off like that, it's just fun to have something, to be like, oh, the fruit of my labor, at least,
Yeah, no, it was funny because when I this wasn't smart at the time, but when I was a sales counselor, my commission for the first 2 weeks was almost $7,000, and so I was like, holy shit, I'm going to be rolling in it. And I went and got an apartment that was almost $3,000 a month.
A little bit of pocket change,
which is stupid. I mean, it was.
You guys aren't paying that now for your apartments now, are you?
I mean, I'm close, but not that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was
Everyone
stupid.
knows that sales jobs, the money's just consistent the whole
Yes,
time.
it's foolproof.
It's foolproof.
So
Man.
there's
You
not
make
even
it
a
1
slow-
week.
there's
It's
not
always
even
going to be there.
We had no furniture.
Yeah, there's no,
just
there's
got
no
it.
slow season either, so no big deal.
Yeah, no, and then we eventually went to a furniture store and put it all on credit because I was going to pay for it.
You
later.
were 19, weren't you?
Oh yeah, it was great. But yeah, so how did we even start talking about living? Oh yeah, I was living down there, and we were watching the Chiefs play the Broncos, and nothing like talking shit with some random guy, actually big old dude, big red beard, orange beard, cheering on the Broncos, and they had this rooftop pool that we were in. They had this huge flat screen. We were all drinking a little bit, and the guy and I started talking shit back and forth about the game, and then he was like, "Oh, you live here with your family?" And I was like, "No." So I live here with my girlfriend, and he's like, "Oh, how do you afford to live here?" I was like, "Oh, I work for LA Fitness. I'm doing whatever with them." And the guy, as soon as I said that, his wife shoots up, and she's like, "Oh, I just got moved here from Seattle. There's this new gym company starting up called EOS Fitness, and we're wanting to buy all the golds here in Phoenix, and
convert them to EOS.
And convert them to EOS. Yeah, they were just starting up. And next day, she was like, that day she's like, "Hey, you have any interest in meeting with our team about getting going on the bottom of this?" And the next day, met with the CEO to be and joined it from then. And now I think that at the time we grew it to 17 clubs before I moved back over here, and I think now they're up to like probably 40 or 50 across California, Vegas, and everything. They've done quite a good job.
Yeah, man, I have some friends in the Scottsdale area that tag themselves working out there, and they seem like really nice gyms.
Yeah, so after
really quality,
so those 7 gold gyms that were bought, and then we opened 10 and that were converted like grocery stores, and then started doing some new build ones. But yeah, it is the low cost model type gym where high value. You have a pool, half basketball court, cardio lounge, and then full free weights at turf and all that.
But the membership was pretty affordable, wasn't it?
Is $10, $20, $30 options. 10 just gave you access
Unreal.
to the gym, and I don't want to expose anybody listening to Arizona, but apparently for $10 you don't have access to anything. You have access to everything. No one tracks it. So,
you heard it here first.
yeah. There's life hack.
There's a nice value
status.
deal right there
Yeah.
for $10 a month.
I think in like high school I had like a student discount and I was still paying like $40 or $50 a month at like 24-hour fitness.
But that's the craziest thing about the fitness gym industry, though. It is, hey, we're gonna have you pay $20, $30 a month for class access, guest access, but behind the scenes where you don't check it, and even so, the people at 10 still, if they go and use the classes or use the cardio lounge or use the pool, no one's ever gonna call them out on it, and they're okay with it because as long as they got enough people doing the $20-$30, then
it's all
bottom line's
good.
covered. Yeah. So
I think Planet Fitness has got it down where they have a different membership, the black card. You got to have a black card.
Planet Fitness is an anomaly. I don't understand from like a financial situation how they are.
Well, I mean, the anomaly for
it's like a mattress firm where it's like money laundering or what?
dude. Planet Fitness. There's two things about
shelter.
Planet Fitness that like I would love to meet with someone that manages one so we could ask them these questions. But it's like for them being the judgment-free zone, they seem the most judgy of any gym ever. There's a damn lunk alarm.
Yeah, they don't like meatheads.
Well, yeah, like you're
There's
not allowed to
no,
wear your shirt certain ways. You're not allowed to bring a gallon jug into the.
I saw a guy.
But there's but judgment free.
Yeah. I saw a video like the other week of a guy that literally got kicked out of some type of gym. I think it may have been a Planet Fitness, honestly, because he was trying to do he was like powerlifting. He was just in there like squatting. Yeah, he was in there
But
squatting.
he wasn't in there trying to be. He wasn't like being a dick on purpose.
No.
He was
Like
just trying to do a lift.
he has like a casual like baggy t-shirt on, shorts. Like he's not like going like Juice Monkey like tank
Right.
and like all this stuff. Like it wasn't being obnoxious or anything. Like he was just literally there just squatting. It just so happens that he was strong as fuck and had like 4 or 5 plates on. So yeah,
Making everybody uncomfortable. Like
the manager like walked up to him and they were like, oh, like sorry, but we don't like allow powerlifting in here. And the guy's like, what? Like I'm just squatting. Like what are you talking about?
They actually got rid of squat racks in almost everyone in the whole country, so they only have Smith machines. That's the
Really?
truth.
So they had squat racks at some point.
At one point, I
that.
believe they had racks. They actually used to have. I believe they might have gotten rid of the benches as well.
I see. I thought I never had a bench.
So now
It
it's
was
just
all Smith
dumbbell.
machine and
It's
dumbbell.
Smith machine and dumbbell now only, and the dumbbells go up to 75, I believe. Yeah, I think maybe 70. It's not for everybody, but you know what? The other thing about Planet Fitness, because of our background in retail, talking to customers, we always like to ask, just, hey, where do you like to train? It is the only place, which by the way, I've had a membership at Planet Fitness before. It was across the street from one of our stores. And, it was very clean. Equipment's really good quality. Like it's nice, it's got to be able to serve what you're needing. But every single person that tells you where they go work out, the only one where they give you an explanation as to why is Planet Fitness. It's hilarious. Like you could ask 100 people in a row that say they work out at Planet Fitness, and they'll always give you the why afterwards.
It's always the location. They're like, it's really
just so
close to
cheap,
me.
but it's so convenient, And you're like, and it's just like comical as hell because literally I'm like, just wait for it. Here it comes. Like I'll just wait in silence, and they'll be like, it's just like, dude, it's only $10.
Just like the Midwest and how good a deal I just got.
Yeah.
You gotta explain
You can't-
everything.
I can get down with Pizza Friday, and I'm serious with that. Like after a workout, hit a slice of pizza.
I think it's the first Friday of every month. I don't think they're doing it weekly for you, bro. But there is bagels on a Tuesday. I know about that. They're also the
Carb
number one
loads.
customer.
So,
they're the number one customer of Tootsie Rolls in the country too. I know that.
Did
Yeah.
you actually take the time to cancel your $10 membership?
You have to go into the club to do it. So of course it took me a
no,
year.
you didn't.
It took me a year.
That's the business model.
To go in there.
You gave them a free year.
That is
That's
it. That is it.
Yeah, we all knew. I mean, like, come on, we knew that. It's
yeah,
so
just-
cheap. It's so cheap. Why would you even take the time to cancel it?
Well, we talked about this earlier today.
Yeah.
I think $110 go Lucas Liquors.
Oh yeah, that's right. We no, this is a good story though. So I was hanging with Tommy. We walked in and Tommy just got this new couch from Costco. And I was
Keeps
like,
the cost low. Yeah.
and I was like, oh, dude, that's like awesome that you're finally becoming a Midwesterner. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, well, you just told me you got a new item, and then you just had to tell me what a hell of a deal you got.
It was a hell of a deal. Like you can't. Yeah, it was a hell of a deal. I couldn't pass it up. Like I needed a couch. I was in there getting stuff, and I saw it, and I was like, holy sh! Like I had to get that, so I got it.
You sat on it, and you're like, all right.
And honestly, like as soon as I got out of my truck, I was bragging to Bryce about the deal I got at Lulu. Yeah, with like the Sweat Collective thing.
That just
like,
happened. Yeah, buy 3 get 1 free.
Oh yeah, basically. Yeah.
25% off.
Oh, it's
Sweat Collective.
fantastic. Yeah.
If you don't wear Lululemon pants and you're a man, you haven't lived yet. It's the
ABC
best thing
pants.
ever. You know what ABC stands for, Tommy?
This is important.
Do you know what the ABC part of the pants section?
Somebody told me what it stands for.
Sound it out, Tommy. Come on.
I want to think. It's. I don't know. I don't want to say it.
You can say it.
I feel like it might be something inappropriate.
It's 100% okay.
Yeah.
I swear.
I mean,
But it's literally the actual reason why they call them ABC pants is it's anti-ball crushing.
Oh yeah. Oh, you told me. Did you tell me that?
I
I think Bryce told me that. Yeah,
Anti-ball crushing pants.
I was sitting there trying to brainstorm. I was like, wait, what was it? I didn't want. Yeah, I don't know.
well, I'm glad he told you the deal he got because it only took him about 8 furniture stores in 3 months to buy a couch because he was holding out for the damn deal. So,
dude, when you see it,
the deal finds you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The couch found him that
Did you
day.
even go to Costco for the couch that day?
I did, yes.
Oh, well, all right.
Not for the couch. I went like to just get random stuff, but then I found it and I was like, oh my gosh, like
Deal find you. There you
Yeah.
go.
That's what happens.
I feel like God was kind of calling me to Costco because I was like driving home and I was like, you know what, like I should go to Costco and pick up some things. And like Bryce said, like it was weeks of me sitting there like looking for couches and furniture and stuff like that. I'm
Weeks,
like,
okay, it was months.
months. Yeah, let's be real, months. Yeah,
That's why you guys are good friends, by the way. That's a Bryce move if I've ever heard one.
But yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna go pick up some things, and I stroll in there, and I saw the couch, and I was like, you know what? Let's pull the trigger. Let's get it done.
Have you ever heard of? There's a phrase in retail called the paradox of choice. If you have too many options, it's paralysis by analysis. You just can't make a decision because there's too many options. So you go to like all these furniture stores, and then you go to Costco, and they're like, you want the white or the black? And you're like, oh, this white couch, done. And just like that, you were Scarface.
To be fair, there was only the white one. So
There was no decision here.
Like it came in beige too, but they were out of that one or something. You know, you want to play? Yeah, you got a white leather couch, dude. I mean, you're basically on the starter pack for Scarface.
Oh,
life.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, when you just get you like a jellyfish tank or something like that for your
I was
apartment.
considering getting a fish tank.
Guys, if you want to know what it's like to be a second-year punter in the NFL, just look at Tommy's got the PS4 on the ground. There's no entertainment center.
We're working on it, okay? It's a work in progress.
We just got the TV hung. That was leaning on the wall as of 5 minutes
No
ago.
framed art on the walls. Yeah, man. He's bare minimum right now. It's awesome.
So, Bryce, basically, after you got done with working in Arizona, how did you move up here and start working with guys like him?
So,
or why?
Well, the way I got back to Kansas City, honestly, was my dad got sick. And we'll blow past that as quickly as possible because I don't want to bring down the mood on that.
Yeah.
But plan was to go back and forth, but he ended up passing away, and I had a twin brother and a mom here, and decided.
And it went. I mean, it was pretty quick. I mean, within like months of you being here, right?
Yeah. So he came out to get some scans done because he was going through some weird shit at the time, and they found a brain tumor, and they operated on him literally the next morning, and kind of said, "Hey, you know what? Hopeful for 3-5 years, maybe even longer." And then he started his chemo late June, and one day when he was there, he just lost the ability to walk, talk, anything. And they kind of freaked out, but they were like, hey, you know what, swelling from the chemo will go away. And it actually went away after about an hour, and they let him leave. And then they went, my brother and my mom at the time went to lunch, and it happened again, and never walked, talk, anything after that again. And he ended up passing away November 4th, but it was just downhill after
Steady
that.
decline, right?
Yeah, he was in hospice for a while because his, other than the brain tumor, was healthy as can be. So even when his brain was just gone.
And your older brother was still in Arizona, right?
He came back and helped quite a bit too. He was actually married at the time, and so he was a little bit more obligated in Arizona. And I mean,
Your twin brother was owning a business too. And
Brady, yeah, he had a business here at the time. My dad and him actually kind of worked together on that at the time. But yeah, so the plan was through chemo and everything, and then through those years was going to be go back and forth, spend some time because you never know. And then once he passed away, and once we knew that it was, hey, I won't be coming back, and we kind of did our whole separate ways thing. And
did they give you any kind of like equity or stock options in the company since you were around for like the start of it in Arizona?
I don't really want to discuss the details on how
It was a
did
good separation.
Yeah, so it was something that we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But yeah,
It was one of those things where like I just want to dispel like because I know a lot of people think that like you just came from all this dough and you were able to start a gym because you didn't work hard and like you were just given this money. And I was in my head, I was like, no, I think he actually like had to work his way up from like a sales rep.
Yeah, no, that was from the ground up, working all the time. I mean, there was times that before I even took that job, I was living on my buddy's couch, eating Belvita bars, literally at our first LA Fitness.
Belvita breakfast biscuits?
Yeah, I'll never eat one again. We at the time had a member appreciation day, and Belvita came by and dropped off this ginormous, huge box of small boxes of Belvita, and I took some, put them in my car, and put them in the back, and that's what I ate.
Dude, get that in a jar of peanut butter, you're good.
It was just the Belvita.
That's the
water
the
fountain.
19-year-old.
The blueberry with the peanut butter.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
pretty fire.
And there was actually times that man and I would count change out of our cup holders to go buy Taco Bell.
Those are some good, but like, that's what makes all the good times sweeter, man. That's awesome. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, you don't forget it. That's
now when you have no money, what do you order at Taco Bell?
At the time, it was the
because if you get a cheesy gordita crunch, you're rich.
Yeah, no, it was the chicken
chalupa.
Big baller.
No one has enough money for a
Damn,
chalupa.
dude. $3 item at Taco Bell? Like, damn, dude, slow down.
chicken soft taco.
Well, you go there for the low price. I mean, you're not going there to spend, $10 on, something. You're trying to get a
Taco Bell's a volume game, man.
It's a volume game, 100%.
Not anymore though. Like the beefy 5 layers. I mean, what are they, like $4 or $5 now?
Oh, dude, I think they're like $1.70
No
or
way.
something.
Not
Don't
anymore.
They're still on the value.
Do not challenge him on food like that.
Oh, if you want to know the price, I know the price.
He's like, I know the exact price of everything.
I'll bring up the app. I'm a regular, so no. Taco Bell, one of the coolest things ever that I swear to God, we'll just do this on another day, and like it'll be a hilarious video that we record. I've been wanting to do this for over a decade. My former boss, Chris Klein, sent me this. A Taco Bell draft. So you go into the drive-thru with your buddies. All right. So imagine the 4 of us in the car. We go to the drive-thru, and you simply say, "Excuse me, I will have one of everything. If it's on this menu, I want you to make it for me, and I want one of everything." And we put them on the table, and one at a time, you have to select. You have to select your item, right? And everybody goes around. And so, for example, the first overall pick, what do you think it was, Tommy? What do you think, like, the first overall pick? So the goal here...
You have to eat everything.
You have to eat everything in front of you, and the person that finishes it first, like, wins. So what do you think the first item would be?
I don't know. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me is I loved those...
Cinnamon twist.
Oh, no. I was going to... Did you hear the cinnamon twist?
Like, old whispers.
No, I'd say like a classic like
twist.
This was like the thing back in the day for me and like me and all my friends. Like we would always get those like the Dorito Loco tacos. I love those. Those are fire.
Phenomenal.
Those are great. Yeah,
Phenomenal.
I don't know if they still have them, but like.
So you gotta understand, it's a calories game and some room, right?
You gotta
so,
have
so the first overall pick, cinnamon twist is up there for sure because it's like light buttery nothing, right? Like cinnamon nothing. But it was chips and cheese was number 1 pick overall.
I feel like the cheese is kind of heavy.
Yeah. I don't know if you have to finish off the cheese in your like in the sides. I don't know if I think it's just like the item, like you just eat the chips. But like Mr. Irrelevant was like the half-pound bean burrito. It's a lot. They were like, oh, and like it was so funny, dude. You should look it up. Like it's still on YouTube right now. If you guys are listening to this, for sure look up the Taco Bell draft because they had like hilarious announcers. They're like, oh my gosh, someone's getting stuck with that Mr. Irrelevant, the half-pound bean burrito. That's gonna mean trouble for somebody. They're not even gonna finish that meal before they're gonna have to go to the bathroom for sure.
Was it a snake draft? Did you ever have to do the double up?
That'd be amazing if there was a snake draft style, but no, it's just like classic. You got your whatever draft pick would be, however many rounds, and then you just had to go, and it was hilarious watching everybody try to eat it and so forth. But it was just like 4 frat dudes, probably like over 10 years ago. But I still think we bring it out again because it sounds like it'd just be a fun thing to do.
Sounds like we should do a follow-up episode. And
definitely mark me down for that. I will be sick as a dog, but I will definitely.
We're gonna do it during the bye week.
It's not season. Write it down. We don't do it during the season.
It's a bye week item because it's gonna have to at least reserve a few hours for the bathroom. There's no way.
That should be the other part of it. Who can hold off the bathroom the longest?
Yeah, your body's not gonna be okay with it.
It's a race.
So on the note of you coming up here, we're starting a business, and this is the part where this is actually where I met Bryce. So. You'd been here for a few months. You started to scout out, locations. You knew you wanted to open a gym, and you were in this weird spot because there was all kinds of like locations, and kind of like how the Element Fitness thing happened. One kind of like hit you in the face, right? Like it was just like you had a guy you used to do stuff with, and he called you and was like, "Hey."
Well, no, I'll tell you the story on that.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to do the whole membership thing, similar model of what we did out in Arizona with the EOS, and was in the process of doing that. It's actually, weirdly enough, it's right down the street from where Element is now. It's the old YMCA Express that was there. Trey, do you know where Black Dog Coffee is on 87th and
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so right next to that was like a YMCA Express, and
I had not heard of those, but
yeah, neither.
sounds like a
around.
smaller YMCA.
No one else heard of it either. That's why I went out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a nice little gym. It's kind of similar model. It's studios and daycares and stuff. Didn't have the pool or anything like that, but it was a good little spot and probably 18,000 square feet, and was going to sign a lease on it. And there was a business over in Overland Park with a guy that actually used to coach me in high school when I played football, and just went to check in to see how he was doing because he had that business for a few years, and we hadn't talked for a while. And we started talking. Long story short, we decided to team up and do some stuff, renovate the gym, and bring in. So I was gonna say, hey, let's do the whole fitness model. While he trained athletes. Like me, he used to train me. And
it was all sports performance stuff.
All sports performance, yeah. He's all
like one-on-one or like classes.
All. I mean, he trained teams, one-on-ones. I mean, awesome coach. I mean, it was an exciting opportunity. I was like, hell, heck yeah, let's go team up with the guy who coached me for years. An awesome thing. And so it was like, hey, let's do fitness on one side and basically put the other half of the gym as sports performance. And it was a model that worked really well. It's been about 5 years. The company itself, I think, has been around about 9. But yeah, it's about 5 years ago that we went into this, and that's what got me into sports performance. So kind of
say you hadn't even done sports performance yet, right?
The whole goal was that I wanted to do the membership side, but we started growing a little bit quicker than I thought we would, and we needed coaches. And I mean, you guys probably understand it just as much. I mean, staffing is the hardest part, and if you grow yourself, and I mean, think about how many hours you guys have probably fill in shifts at your stores and everything there. And same thing was dove into coaching and then found something I became absolutely obsessed with. I mean, it's fun. Yeah.
Super rewarding, it seems like, for you, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And that's kind of gets back to the little baby talk of if I had a girl, I'd be ecstatic because most of our clientele was young girls. I mean, it was something where we spent a lot of time just obviously.
Are these volleyball athletes? Are these dancers? Are these.
Volleyball. I mean,
cool.
Volleyball in Kansas City is huge. It's honestly like similar to soccer. It's like the capital of volleyball in the country. Like it's the number one area basically in the country for volleyball.
Talk about that, how you basically started doing the competitive volleyball in your gyms.
So the gym that it was in has basketball courts with it that has a club that's called PVA volleyball in there. And so there was a relationship in there that we would train their athletes, and it was something that it was marketed for it. It wasn't really anything yet that was like an official relationship, but the service was good. I mean, it was the coach, it was good, product was good to where it just would build itself. And then we started training more and more girls on each team, and then got to the point where we would then have clubs that would reach out and say, hey, basically, we want to hire you guys essentially to train the entire club. So that was kind of a model that we started to where we were the strength conditioning staff, I guess would be the easiest way for someone to understand of these volleyball clubs. And we do it for basketball teams and did it for baseball teams, and it all kind of grew itself because the product that was good. That was
well, it's amazing that you guys are able to train them all together like that, and I think that galvanizes a team, getting everybody together and having everybody go through the sweat and everything together versus when I was in high school, you know, if you were to do like sports performance training, it had to be on a one-on-one basis. It had to be individualized. It was like speed work and so forth, you know?
Yep.
But I'd never done any kind of like sports performance training as a team. And I just think that'd be awesome. You know what I mean? Like feeling like we're getting extra better than just going to weights every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we then ended up modeling around their practices. So if you practice from 6 to 8, you're going to train 5 to 6. So it just was an extension of their practice, and it got them out away from coaches that control playing time and with coaches that still care about them, but they also can relate to and talk to about certain things of like, hey, no, we're going to tell you 1, injury stuff, but 2, like, hey, need some advice on some stuff. So it's been a really cool opportunity to have some impact on a bunch of young athletes that I want to obviously do for the rest of my life. Because I mean, it was something to just never had any desire. 1, like I said, be in the fitness industry, and then 2, never even thought about being in sports performance. And it all just kind of, both of them stumbled in. And now, question with how did I meet Tommy and all that stuff, kind of that was a whole COVID ordeal too. There were some guys already before that were working with us, and it was actually Gehrig was working out.
Specifically Chiefs players, you're saying?
Yeah, and Gehrig was working out in the gym, just using the gym.
This is Gehrig Dieter you're talking about?
Yeah, and he texted.
For our listeners, you know, I just want to make sure.
Well, this shows you how good I am at marketing. telling myself a little bit. So he was training in the gym, and he asked, I forget how, but he goes, hey, do you know any good people in the area that train speed? And obviously someone who trains speed, like, I thought it was a joke. And I was like, oh, no, I don't really know any. He goes, no, seriously, I'm looking for someone that can help me get faster. And I was like, well, you've been in my gym for a couple months and you have no idea what the heck we do. Obviously, we need to change what we're doing.
You're like, lo and behold, I actually do that.
And that's literally what I said. I was like, well, apparently our marketing department's killing it.
Hey, son, I heard there's this guy named Bryce Simmons up the road. And
he's like, all right, well, I'll give you a shot. And then kind of kicked off from there. I guess he liked it. And he became a huge advocate for me. He introduced me to a lot of the guys, and then just kind of built from there. And so that's how I ended up meeting Tommy. Was he kind of connected the kind of the chain of all the way through, where it ended up turning into a pretty cool ordeal doing the whole COVID thing, leading through all that, and then relationships kind of built since then. So yeah, no, it's crazy how this has all worked. I mean, the whole ins and outs of how it all came, you couldn't even begin to piece it together from the beginning. But now looking back, it's crazy to see how it all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I wanted to kind of drive home for anybody listening is that, yeah, we talked about how quickly you got that deal done, but I mean, there's just a decade of work that came before you being able to just walk into a gym and be able to make moves like that.
So, yeah, no, it's definitely, I mean, just the guy who owned it at the one we just are starting was, and there's a guy I'm working with on doing it that we'll introduce to you guys later, but we've talked for a couple of years now about doing a spot like this, and when it came up, I was like, hey, might be a thing. Are we ready to hit the ground running? And it all happened. Everything happened just in place like it was meant to be.
And I'll say this because I've been to this gym now a couple times, and this is just really cool. So while you're there, Tom, have you been yet?
To this new one?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been there yet.
So when you're there, there's just a lot of members that have been there like for a long time. We're talking 10, 20 plus years. Mm. And while him and I were lifting, a handful of people just came up to him while he was lifting, just like, hey, I just want to say thank you. And like shook his hand. Like, this gym means a lot to me. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, dude, this is like dodgeball and Average Joe's right now. You know what I mean? Like, it was legit like that. He's like, we should just call it Average Joe's. I'm like, probably some trademark issues there, but
you could start a dodgeball team for fun.
I mean, we probably should.
Yeah.
It was just really cool though to see all these people. Like, there was a guy named was it Russell?
Russ.
He was wearing jeans and boat shoes lifting, and he was wearing an Element Fitness t-shirt. So we're like, this guy definitely works here. He's
I haven't met the
jeans,
staff
boat
yet.
shoes, and a t-shirt. And he's like, oh no, I'm just a member. I come in, I'm a general contractor coming between like jobs. And he's like literally deadlifting in these boat shoes and jeans.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And he's like, I've been coming here since I was a teenager. And we're like, oh my gosh. And he's like, oh, since it was called like Quivira Sports and Athletics.
Yeah.
Or something like that, which is a pretty sweet name too, by the way. Yeah. But bottom line, just like very, very cool that this gym just has been under our nose all these years and had no idea. And the people that are already there for you, like, love it. I mean,
it's been an incredible experience. There's people coming up. I mean, I told you.
To buy a business and then have people come in and be like, thank you. It's crazy.
I had a guy pull me into one of the Group X classes yesterday, and it had like 40, 50 people in it. And it was like, please introduce yourself. Everyone wants to meet you. And
that's right. That's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, tell the story for sure. It's great.
I stood up there and I'm like, I'm Bryce, and everyone just like starts clapping. Oh, thank you so much. And I was like, basically. And I was like, and we had some guys that are training that are in between some teams right now, and they were cracking up because they were like, yeah, go in there, talk. So they were all cracking up in the back while I was up there. But while I was talking, I was like, you know what? There's just something that just kind of happened overnight. I said, the biggest thing I want you guys to know, which we'll get into here more in a little bit, more some shameless plugs. But I was saying, you know what, we're going to change a lot of awesome things in here, bring in new equipment, knock some walls out, bring an awesome experience from what you have access to. But what we're not going to change is the awesome community culture and staff we have in place. And everyone just went nuts.
Go crazy.
That really felt like that, Wolf of Wall Street. I ain't fucking leaving.
Everybody was going berserk for him.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, like, they're
bringing all your sports performance people over to there?
There'll be some going out of there. Yeah.
So they're going to be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All these big
we
people.
were laughing about that today.
What's cool about it is there's a part to it that it has its own address. It's another bay over that has private entry that we're going to build a complete private gym on that. That'll be all for private training. It's going to have turf, all that space. So it's connected to it. That will give people access to it when we're not in there. But yeah, so people that can't be seen, we'll have private in there, in and out. But yeah, no, it's cool because it's the demographic there right now is old. And
like, we haven't really given you, like, you know, I feel like the due cred and the respect you deserve here. you've trained not just Tommy, but you've actually you've done like speed work and so forth with like the entire Chiefs offense, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. At one point, it was going into last season, it was about 60, 70 guys at a time. We'd go, and it was a cool experience.
You're over at like KU for the mornings or something like that?
Yeah, they have a
KU
little sports forward spot that they're partners with the Chiefs, so we'd be in there, and then we'd go to Blue Valley North High School, which coach there now, so we're about to win a state championship too. But we'd go over there and train after and do some field work. And
shout out Blue Valley North.
Big shout out.
Go Stangs.
A little bit of a rough skid right now, but
Yeah.
we're coming.
They're gonna have a hard time with Derby.
No, not this year. We're ready for them.
Kyle's a Derby alum,
Derby.
dude.
No, last year. It
Hey,
was,
who won last year?
yeah, that was coaching last year. It was bullshit. So literally, 60-mile-an-hour wind into your face, and you're trying to pass into it when there's 2 minutes left in the half. It's like 28-28. It's just a hell of a game. And then we throw a ball into the wind that boomerangs basically back. Kid picks it off. They score. So now it's 35-28.
So how did those other 28 points happen with the 60-mile-an-hour winds? Let's talk about it.
So it was just whatever. It was just bang, bang, bang happening. And so short routes that were breaking. And then they had this little kid. I think they still have him that legit runs a 4.4.
I have no idea anything about Derby football
Okay,
anymore.
well,
I
they
just
got-
like talking crap up here to people because I
yeah.
obviously play
I'm
in
sitting
Derby.
here wearing my Boone High football shirt
Well,
right here. Yeah,
so
go
not giving
Braves.
it-
Shout out Boone High School, Orlando, Florida, baby.
Hey, Boone High School has the same colors as the Florida Gators. I mean, that's just
I was
match
about to
made in
say,
heaven.
They got the powder blue. They got the powder blue.
It's,
Yeah.
I love it though. I think it looks good. I like it.
Yeah, not so bad. Not so bad.
But yeah, so long story short, we decide we get the ball back down 7, and we want to, with a minute and a half left, decide we want to still throw it deep into the wind. Kid picks it off, runs it back. It's 42-28. Not shitting you. We get the ball back, 3 straight plays, passes, punt it, boomerangs down, and then they score 49-28 going into halftime. Just in literally 2 minutes, just
That
game
is
over.
terrible coaching.
Yeah.
My dad
Kneel
sent me,
the ball.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
just
get-
go to halftime.
Just go to half and switch sides.
Yeah.
my dad sent me a score last week of Derby playing Hayesville, and it was like I want to say they hit like 80 some points to 0.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
they're
like, oh my god.
well,
Beat down.
and I don't know that
It's the team that had 0 had a terrible punter for sure.
Yeah, they
Must-
didn't have a Tommy Townsend. That's
They
for
certainly
sure.
didn't have a good punter.
For sure.
Hey, take it easy. I'm sure he did fine.
Dude, it's not the punter's
just had
fault.
terrible coverage. It had terrible coverage. Too.
I've been waiting to ask you this forever because it's maybe maybe one of the funnier things there is for me is Pat McAfee announcing punters.
Oh yeah.
Has
You
he
heard him do
announced
it?
you yet?
Has he announced you?
He's got me some clips from college, and I actually Florida played Vanderbilt last week, I think, and like I had a fake with I had a fake when I was at Florida, and it was against Vandy, and that was like one of the first like Pat McAfee clips that he ever like posted, and he's like, things are getting chippy down in Vandy. He's like, we got coaches fighting, and then something else, and he's like, and we got punters running it up the gut. And but yes. So that was funny as hell. So I went back and like I quoted the tweet and like tweeted it back out, and I was like, oh yeah, like beat Vandy.
Absolutely, man. Dude, him announcing punters is the funniest thing for me when he's like just absolutely rips a moonshot. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, this one's going 60 yards, no doubt. You know, like just everybody needs to announce it like that.
It's great. We just we need a well-known character that shows punters love, and Pat McAfee is showing out for us.
He's a hero.
Yeah, he's a hero.
What's
He's a
his
man.
thing for the brand that's
the
actually
brand.
getting a
Hashtag
lot of
for the
traction
brand.
out there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the past couple of years it's been huge.
It's called For the Brand.
Yeah.
Hey, there's your foundation.
That's
name
his,
for
that's
the
his
brand.
hashtag.
There you go.
Are you starting a foundation? Is it coming down?
It's something in the works. Yeah, it's
Very
just
cool.
been talking about it a little bit. Not exactly sure what I'm gonna do it for. I have a couple
Right.
ideas, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's
We'll
hard
see
to
what
find
happens.
like one focus, right? So it's just it's the most difficult part is just like obviously you want to give to everybody.
Yeah,
you know?
there's a lot of different things that I can do, and I talked to Bryce about it a little bit, and he kind of just like threw something just straight off the top of his head, doing something like shoes and stuff for like kids, which would,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, so
Very cool.
That or like cleats or
You
something.
can get
so.
punny with it again there, Jeff. Kicking it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Giving out
good.
kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, right off the the Mahomes Foundation.
Let Jeff.
Like that. And we didn't think of that one either.
No way.
15 in the Mahomes.
Yeah.
Dude, so you're from Florida, right?
Yeah,
And you grew up in Orlando and then played at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like being in the Midwest versus Florida? You
It's
like
so
it?
different. It's so different. But I do like it. It's grown on me so much. And not a lot of people know. I actually went to Tennessee my freshman year of college.
That's right.
And then transferred from there. So that was kind of like my first taste of like, breaking away from home. But yeah, I ended up like transferring back. So yeah, and then of course came out here last year and started training with Bryce. And this is kind of a little side note, but I was sitting here looking at the logo and I couldn't help but think, so like when I first started training with Bryce, obviously Jeff met you, and we went into Supplement Superstore because we were talking about supplements and brought up the First Form stuff. And in the shaker bottle, the first thing that popped in my head was CTC.
Yeah, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that stuff, and I that's like the only one that I drink. Like I don't know why, but I just love it so much.
Have you tried the Fruit Loop one yet?
I tried the Fruit Loop one. Yeah.
You mix them together. It's Apple Jacks.
Yeah, that was
like,
or was it the Fruity
really good.
Pebble one? Is there a Fruity Pebble one?
It's same one. It's same thing.
Oh,
They all
yeah.
taste like that. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Dude, root beer float is like the low key
Unsung
That was
hero.
pretty
So
good.
good.
Great. Thin Mint Girl Scout cookie also. a
That
famous
one's
one.
fantastic. Yeah.
Who did we send to the store to get all of them? Remember someone went?
Dude, it was
and you had your
freaking. It was
staff-
Johnny.
Was it John Lovett?
Johnny Lovett. Yeah.
God.
John Lovin'
He
it.
went and
John Lovett.
he bought all the flavors, or
He
what?
got, remember he came back and I was like, I made a phone call. I talked to one of my employees, Wyatt, good kid. I said, Wyatt, I got John Lovett coming down and I got a handful of Chiefs players that all want to try protein and carbs. We're going to all do it for our post workout today. I need this. And he had them all ready for us. And John brought them back, but it was like with like warm water. And we were like, like you couldn't have cold water. You can't have like room temp
It
protein.
tastes so much better with cold water.
Freezing cold.
Literally
Gotta
the
be.
mortal sin of sampling protein.
You
is
can't do it
mixing
like
with warm
that.
water.
But we all enjoyed it. And I know, dude, I know James is also on post workout. At some point, Harrison was as well. So at one point, all the specialists in Kansas City were on the same post workout, and they were getting jacked as we
I
can all
put-
attest
They were
to.
getting puffy.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like getting real puffy. Yeah, that's something like I've said all the time. Like when people ask me about like supplements and stuff, like I just go straight to First Form, just tell them straight First Form, because there was like a 3-4 week period where I put on 10 pounds, like in a 3 to 4 week period, and I've never done that in my life. Like I've always been like super skinny, like kind of lanky, like never had much like bulk to me. And
Hell of a
excuse
strength
me,
coach,
excuse
too.
me, excuse me, excuse me. I never had much puff to me.
Right. Yeah, what are we saying? Yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah. Come on now. But yeah, just tossed up like 10 pounds in a couple weeks, and I was like, oh, like it has to be from the products, because obviously I was training hard, but like throughout college and stuff, being at Florida, SEC strength staff, like, I mean, training hard, busting my ass there, but I just couldn't help but think like, damn, like those, I think it
What
had to
store
have been, like,
turned you
First
on to
Form,
those products?
I believe that was Supplement Superstore.
Yeah.
Little
I was like,
plug.
yeah, well, I was saying like, hey, you can get them where? I was saying,
Does
That's actually where I buy all my First Form
That's-
products in Kansas City. I buy
my
them at
vitamins.
Supplement
no,
Superstore.
I'm only giving you crap because I'm like, dude, there was a time when me and Kyle only had one store, right? We
Yeah.
were working the store every day, had to work the counter every day. And it was awesome. Like we loved it, but it was always like when people like fell in love with the product we sold, they'd be like, everybody get this product. We're like, tell them where. Like,
tell them who sells it.
But like they're gonna Google it and they're never gonna come in. So
Customer service is unparalleled. When I was back home training in the off season, I can't remember who sent me.
It was Blake.
Oh
I
no, I was
remember this.
gonna make a joke about how
sorry.
yeah.
Blake.
long story short, I hit up Jeff and he hooked me up big time. Sent me a nice little care package.
But it
with
wasn't
all-
me. I'll tell you this. Blake, one of our employees, he gave you the Chiefs like themed like headband.
Yeah,
and
it
you
was,
sent
the,
me
it, was the
text.
S, it was the S2 faction headband.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that was all him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we didn't do like that wasn't my hookup. Like my staff's just awesome. They're ballers, and they were like, "Dude, we got to hook them up with one of these for sure."
Yeah.
And they appreciated the photo for sure.
But you plugged me. You sent it all down to Florida. Got me right. So
And dude, he had the. I don't know if you guys know this about Tommy. He's got the most gorgeous salad in all of sports right now, as far as his hair.
That's true.
So when you put the headband
Salad.
on, you never heard that?
You never heard salad?
I mean, isn't the term tossed salad? I mean,
Whoa, dude!
You just completely took this.
well, I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being serious. Why is your hair salad? And then why is that
in
the
my
term?
head, when
There's
you say
kids listening.
salad, it's curly hair though, right?
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So what do you?
Salad is-
So as a main,
See, I think it has to be Maine because it's not
Definitely Maine.
it's not flow because flow means like
Oh.
wavy, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
my hair is dead straight, so it's got to be Maine. It's just got to be the Maine, you know.
Jesus, Bryce.
I was being Jesus, dude. I wasn't trying to be funny. I'm being serious. Like
I mean, we knew
legit.
you were being serious, but we were all like, "Bro, come on, mine out of the gutter."
Yeah, I just.
He can't, dude.
You know who coined the phrase "salad" for me was Scott Van Pelt because he doesn't have any hair. So he's always like, "Man, that guy's got a luscious salad," and I'm like,
well,
he can say that because he doesn't have hair on his head.
Yeah,
It's even in his logo that he's bald
yeah. SVP's doing it.
It's just
that one. Yeah,
with the glasses.
with the glasses.
Yeah.
On. Hey, you know that? So quick, you'll appreciate this story. So you know that day that Lovett went and got those shakes. Do you remember old Kyle Shermer?
Of course.
Yeah,
I
so-
saw that he got on somewhere, right?
He's in Washington.
Yes.
And small world. So at the time,
Is his dad there?
Play him next week.
no, is he still in Denver? Hey, do you know if Shermer's dad's still the OC in Denver?
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, I think he is. I don't know. But Shermer's quarterback on roster for Washington. And at the time, Dalton didn't train at the gym. And I guess they were sitting in the locker room. And they guys came out and Kansas. He's like, yeah, I trained over at this spot. And Kyle's like, wait, no way. And it literally all connected back in. And then he's like, I heard these stories before. And it all came out that it all happened in that same spot. And they just had no idea.
That's
And
so
they-
funny. So
yeah.
Dalton and Kyle connected.
Yeah.
So these for our listeners, so we had some I would say what do you call it? Like some fringe guys, some guys that were just on and off the team at times.
Almost Friday.
Yeah. There is some fringe dudes on the team that were just trying to make it, and they were on and off the roster at times and whatnot. And it's just cool that they both found a home in Washington and connected the dots that they had both trained with Bryce.
Yeah, never
prior.
saw each other.
And they had never met each other prior, right?
No, it just came out.
Man, dude, Kyle's such a good dude.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, at first I thought you were making a joke about like, you know, the page like Friday Beers.
Oh, dude.
All
the time.
He caught it.
Yeah,
he caught it for
I was
sure.
like, fringe guy. I definitely know
fringe guy. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
a fringe guy. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I've got one of the staple nicknames on there, but I can't say that on the show.
Oh, come on, man. We gotta go off mic now.
We can go off mic for that one.
Okay, what is it?
Oh, you can still hear me.
We almost, hey, if you're listening, we almost got him, guys. So we got some other things I want to talk to you about. So Tommy, you got to punt at the same time as your brother being on the Ravens this week or this year. It was like week 2.
That's week. I think it was
Week 2.
Yeah, week 2.
Was it week 2?
It was week 2.
No?
No, it was week 3. Maybe
three.
it was week 2. It was September 19th. It was my mom's birthday, and they flew up. My parents flew up for the game.
Week 3.
Week 3,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, week 3. But yeah, so my parents flew up for the game, which was really cool, and yeah, I got to see my mom a little bit because, but I mean, what are the chances? I mean, like, me and Johnny basically playing against each other. You know what I mean?
And John, were you his
on my mom's
successor
birthday?
at Florida?
I was, yeah.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
I was his successor at Boone High School as well. Yeah.
Who punted first?
He did, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then once he started getting all his like scholarship offers and stuff like that, going to camps, I was just kind of thought, you know what, like I can do this too, and you know the rest is just kind of history. So
It's incredible, man.
yeah,
I was thinking just when you posted the photo of the two of you guys together, I was like, man, just what an incredible feeling.
yeah.
As far as like, I mean, just starting off like middle school, high school, or was that when did you first start kicking like and try to take it serious? At what age?
It was like sophomore, junior year high school, so it was pretty late. Like a lot of people get into kicking in middle school.
Sure.
Start going to camps and stuff like that, but me and Johnny kind of got into it late. Like we were always position players growing up. We played corner and safety in high school.
Sure.
And one year, I think it was Johnny's sophomore year or something like that, or maybe, I think it was his sophomore year, but he was on varsity and they needed a punter, and of course, they had the competition like, okay, well, whoever punts it the furthest, is going to be the punter, and everyone sit there, goes punt, and Johnny goes out, hits it, and it sits there, rolls, and went the furthest, and then so he was the punter, and then
Rest is history for him, huh?
the rest is kind of history. Yeah, my dad had a buddy, Steve Dykes, that he played at FSU back in the day, and he was a punter. So we went and had a couple kicking lessons with him, and just kind of did a lot of work on our own. And it's kind of nice, having a brother that does the same thing, because we can kind of coach each other up. I mean, we've been working together since high school, so we kind of know like the ins and outs of both of our techniques. So it's easy to go and work with each other and kind of critique things. And
it's wild to have like the same, you basically are having both really unique experiences and playing in the NFL, but you're having the same experience kind of. That's just wild that you guys, I mean, the chances of that. Have there ever been other, two other punters in the NFL like that were brothers?
The Colquitts, yeah.
Was there 2 or 3 of them?
There's, I don't know. I think 2 of them played in the league. I don't know. I know that they had like an uncle that played in the NFL.
Yeah, it's just like the Mannings. There was a third one, but no one knows the third one.
My oldest brother Clay. He's the genius of the family. He's made jokes before about how he's like the Cooper Manning and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's Cooper Manning.
Yeah.
Cooper Manning was a wide receiver, and I think he didn't even make it out of college. I think he played in college, maybe a little bit.
I feel like he had to have gone to Ole Miss at least. Like, just walked on to Ole Miss,
Like they at least let him like on the team for sure.
sure.
You're a Manning, come right here, right this way, sir.
Yeah.
Whose son is the one that's in high school right now? Is that Peyton's son? Or?
Yeah,
Peyton's son, Arch.
Yeah.
What an
Arch.
awesome name.
Yeah.
Not Archie, Arch.
Yeah, just Arch. Yeah.
Arch Manning.
Straight to the point.
That's a pretty dope name.
Straight
and
business.
people already started talking about tanking for Arch, which is nuts to me. He hasn't even played a snap in college yet.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you talk about a rite of passage for being a great quarterback. Tom Brady's son's next. Let's be real.
To be fair, his high school highlight tape so far has been
No, he looks good. He looks pretty solid.
pretty decent, shall we say. Yeah.
I was going to ask you this. What is like, so you used to be a corner safety. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
So you just like used to spear people?
Yeah, I was an asshole.
Hold on.
I love this.
Hold on. If you want to, can I comment on this?
Yeah,
please?
go ahead.
Okay, it's worth your while. Tommy in college is the king of spearing. There is times where like the guy's literally on the field and he comes out of nowhere and just unnecessarily just tucks his head and goes straight down and spears the guy.
You're like risking your spinal cord?
It
makes no sense. Play's over, but I'm spearing.
I was an asshole in high school. I was an asshole on the field. I was just always just running in, just like hitting guys as like
this
hard
is
as I
back
could.
whenever you were like the same size as everybody, though.
Yeah, I was probably 6 foot, like a $160 playing quarter and safety.
You could spear some people at 160, 6 foot in high school.
This is college. There's videos of this.
College is a different story. That got I guess
he was over 170 in college for sure.
No puff at the time.
No
He
puff.
was working on it.
Zero puff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were a couple times where I hit a couple people. There's one that stands out to me most. My favorite hit of all of college. Like we were playing LSU in 2018, and I was just late in the game, and I just absolutely just slung one downfield, like 65, something like that. So like something I did in college was if I hit a ball and I still do it now, but like if I hit a ball downfield and I'm like, okay, this ball is gonna get returned. Like I don't see a fair catcher, don't see like any gunners or players around him. I will just take off downfield, just all out sprint downfield. And so I punted the ball, guy caught it on like the left hash. And he's returning it right to the field. And so I'm sprinting down and I'm kind of like mirroring him. And I see this guy from LSU and he's kind of like coming up field and like he barely like gets his head around to like look at me. And I was like, all right, I just got to hit this guy.
Earshot?
I just got to hit this guy. So yeah.
Decleated him.
I put him on his back. Yeah. I was, sprinted down, and in the video, it's pretty funny, but it's kind of bad because you see my entire body, but then you see my head just slowly disappear. It just goes straight down, boom, like helmet to helmet. And I put the guy on his back. The guy ended up running out of bounds. But
you know what's funny? I think this has happened in the NFL. I think it's happened like one time, but like call unnecessary roughness on the punter.
Yeah,
for an earshot like
I almost got ejected against. Oh gosh, who was? I think it was Missouri. I almost got ejected against Missouri. Because I had
straight spear.
I had a targeting and an unnecessary roughness.
This is punter legend right here.
It's worth looking up. He showed me one time. I was like, "Are you kidding?"
Luke, make sure
My
this-
God,
make
like,
sure
what
the
are you
LSU
doing?
shot. We find that and we put that in the YouTube.
Oh, I've got the
Yeah.
clips on my phone.
Absolutely, you
But
send
they're
those right
saving
over.
top of the camera roll.
But
Just ask. He's like,
They're
he's got-
definitely in the favorites. But yeah, the first one, the unnecessary roughness, is just a punt, just regular punt, just run downfield. Guy gets tackled, and I see this guy like kind of like coming in towards me, like from like my left side out of the peripheral. So like I stick my hands out and kind of like push him away a little bit, and like after that, like right after I kind of like push him away, I see him like coming back towards me, like out of the corner of my eye. And I'm like, oh my God, like what the hell is this guy doing coming back to me? So like. I'm like stiff and like throw my hands out at him, and he kind of like flops to the ground, and like of course like I turn around and like the ref just freaking rips his flag straight out, and there's a fantastic picture of me looking at the ref like, what the fuck? Like,
How could you possibly throw a flag on me?
I was
gave
like,
you the
that was
LeBron
on me.
treatment.
Like I was like, he ran into me. But yeah, and then the targeting, that was just, let's not talk about that. Yeah.
You get a punter targeting that's just like, man, that's legend status for sure.
Yeah, I almost got it was this is the first time I'm admitting this publicly, but it was textbook targeting. but like apparently like they didn't call it on me, and if they would have called it on me, I would have gotten ejected. But
And this was against Mizzou, you're saying?
it was against Mizzou, yeah.
Yeah.
And like honestly, I just thought I was just kind of like falling on top of the guy, but like when I looked at the clip, like it was I dipped my head, went straight down for him. Anyways, but
it was more than a dip. It was a full on.
You looked this up, yeah.
but they were like yeah, like he's a punter, like he doesn't know how to tackle or hit, so like that was basically that was the explanation they told
Little
my
did
coach.
they know this dude was playing varsity safety.
He's like, I've been spearing for years.
He has a
dude.
staunch history of spearing. Yeah.
like
who's
clockwork.
Who's like the most respected punter, like in your eyes in the NFL? Like not now, maybe ever. If it is now, then it's now. But
I have always been a huge Thomas Morstead fan. Like he's been the guy that I've always looked up to, like going through like high school camps and stuff like that, and like he's been like super friendly, and like we've been able to communicate back and forth over like social media and stuff like that, and seeing him at camps like over the years. But
very cool.
that's actually how like I got my steps. I just tried to like mirror like everything Thomas did. But to be fair, he's 6'5", 230. So he's a big dude. I'm sitting here 6'1", like 195. But
Hey,
That-
203 last year. Hey, we're on our way back to over 200. Quest is coming.
yeah.
That dude could throw a spear down. I'm guaranteeing it. Being
Dude,
that big.
He doesn't need to spear.
my
He
favorite-
can actually hit. He has to spear.
A
A younger version. He's still in the NFL, but like I always was a big Johnny Hecker fan.
Yeah, Johnny Hecker. Yeah,
Johnny Hecker was the king of the fake punt because he played high school quarterback and he could sling it, man.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of fakes.
Yeah, he can do some crazy things with the football with both his arm and his foot. Yeah.
He got on Dude Perfect and he did some fun punt stuff with Dude Perfect.
Yeah, in St. Louis, I watched that.
Yeah. So I was a St. Louis Rams fan. So I mean, at the time, and I was just like watching all this and was like, man, we got like the coolest. He was probably one of the better follows on social media. He was such a great follow. He's just a funny dude. But yeah, Johnny Hecker, is he still punting for the Rams?
Yeah, he's still.
He's got to be like the longest tenured Ram on the team right now.
It's got to be. Yeah.
Went to Oregon State. I think,
Sounds
or
right.
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a good dude. I don't know. I don't know if there's any other punters out there that I know well, but that one and Pat McAfee, obviously, who retired at like 29 or something.
Yeah, it turned down like
He was
it's like $5 or $6 million.
he was like
contract.
the dude. He was a
We talked about this the other night.
visionary.
Yeah, he turned down a multi-year $5-6 million deal to go.
And he was like, I'm going to do a Barstool podcast.
Yeah.
To be fair, not every punter can do that because that guy's just kind of like one of a kind. Like, you know what I mean?
He's a character.
Yeah,
He had
he's
the
an absolute character.
personality.
Yeah.
He's got the perfect personality for it. Yeah. And like we can all imitate him and no one could ever be him. You know what I mean? Like that guy's.
No.
Have you watched the Peyton and Eli commentary very much on
It's
Monday
incredible.
nights?
That was the one I watched. He came onto the show.
Yeah. So
was it Buffalo? The
don't
Buffalo
remember
punter.
who it was.
They were like, all right, hey, we're like, we got a punt going on. Pat, go ahead and take over.
Yeah, it was a requirement.
And dude, he killed it. It was incredible.
Well, and then the next time he was supposed to do it, Eli was telling the story, and Peyton's like, "Really, Eli? You messed it up. We were going to get a Pat McAfee play-by-play in one of your dumbass stories.
Yeah.
We didn't get to get it."
And then he gave the middle finger on national TV. Like we knew that. How long would it take before like Eli and Peyton did something brotherly on national TV, and Eli gives him the double middle finger?
Yeah.
To be
my
honest,
God.
like we need more of that. Like,
Incredible.
I feel like we need more like original, like just real like content from like TV, sports, TV shows, stuff like that. Like, I feel like a lot of stuff tries to be like too staged and too perfect, but like
It's a
feel
good
like,
watch.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. I mean,
That's the only one I've watched on
And,
Monday
they're
nights.
bringing
is
on all
that.
their friends. Like, dude, when they brought on Ray Lewis, I was so pumped to listen to Ray Lewis talk.
yeah, it goes along with like everything like Barstool's trying to do with like just trying to make like, just like
The human element of athletes.
Yeah.
Just bringing in raw.
It's been funny because some of the stuff guys get caught up in the moment of the realness of it, and they say certain things. I think Gronkowski was one of them that he admitted like he never watched film or anything like that.
and then
then later that
printed
week
it.
he's like, "Oh, I always watch film." Like he had to retract his statement because like, but
Tom Brady calls him like, dude, what are you doing?
yeah.
he's like ask his girlfriend or something. He's like, "I watch film all the time. I promise." Like,
He just thinks he's sitting there with the boys like talking.
That's right.
All the time.
It's too comfortable.
Well, yeah, he said, he goes, what I did one time, I did a workout and brought different pairs of clothes during COVID, and we would send it in to the team to show where we're doing things. But all I did was one day put on different outfits. And he's like, I pulled one over on the team.
He's like,
But what was funny was after the Pat McAfee episode where he was on the Monday Night Football, Peyton was talking about, he's like, I got some feedback from our listeners and my mom about what's the best things. And they're like, Pat McAfee guy needs to come back. And it just shows you how
He talked through like an entire series. It was incredible. They were like, we got Pat on the show. Did you guys hear him tell the story about him gambling?
Yeah, where Peyton walked by and said, put it on some number.
He's like,
Yeah.
He goes, put it all on red 18, like his number, and they all put their money on. Like everybody was just like, cancel my bet. We're putting it on red 18, and it hit red 18.
So I actually heard that story probably like 5 years ago at a camp. Like we would go to these like summer camps and stuff, just like training camps and stuff. And like Cole's kicking a camp that I've been going to for years, but they had a summer camp for college specialists, and I was up there, and one night after we were like coaching the kids camp, like we were sitting there and just like having a drink,
shooting the shit, brown bagging it.
And that story came out, and I wasn't sure I can't remember who said it, but yeah, that I heard that story for the very first time, probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
It was like thousands of dollars that he won. It was wild.
Yeah.
It was like 33-1 odds or whatever.
Well, my favorite part about that whole thing was at the very end, game's over, and it wasn't even close. And there was some play that Peyton and Eli were talking, and Pat was like stressing the fuck out.
Because it was the bet.
Yeah,
it was
he
spread.
bet on something, and Peyton's like, Pat, why are you so into this game over there? Like,
He was about to have a heart attack.
Yeah, it's like what's going on here that we're missing?
It was a worthless point that would have messed the spread up.
Yeah, there was something he had a bet on, and it never got all completely out. But Peyton was like, "What's going on over there, Pat?" And he's just sitting there like just stressed and balling.
Veins popping out of his head.
Yeah, and the meaningless in him. So I was like, all right.
He was relieved after the game, so he definitely hit.
Yeah.
Right.
He
Well, no, he was
Well,
sitting there, and then after the play, he leans back. He's like, "Oh."
It was dude. I remember someone else had money on that game when I was watching too, and I was like, oh, it was just one of those moments where it was about to be a bad beat.
Yeah.
This is another really funny one. I don't know if you guys know this on the Gronk note where people were feeling too comfortable, and so like they say shit they shouldn't. I don't know if you guys saw this. Russell Wilson in the scouting report last week, he put Sourdough Sam as like one of the people you need to keep an eye on for the 49ers, and that's their mascot. And he just wanted to see if anybody would say anything to him about it. And DK Metcalf called him. He's like, dude, why is Sourdough Sam in the fucking why is he in the scouting report this week? And Russell's like, I just want to know who's reading it.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, right?
Who's doing what they need to be doing.
But the character, like the cartoon character was in it and everything. Like Sourdough Sam was just like an old timey prospector. It's the funniest thing that he was in the scouting report. Anyway, as far as fitness goes, since we went down that rabbit hole, I don't know if there's anything left, man, that I don't know, but what can I think, what could people expect from Element Fitness is what I think we need to talk about.
I mean, like we talked a little bit about it today. I mean, kind of doing a before and after of what we're about to do in there. I mean, we're coming into kind of a 30-year business that's already been there. So picking up and continuing the things are doing great, but also turning it into a gym in Kansas City that, especially out in that area, that doesn't exist. I mean, having just the modern functional fitness of turf, open space, everything you need from a membership gym. That's cheaper than all the other competition that's going to be out there. So right now it's dated. It looks like it's from still.
Are you guys planning on making it 24 hours?
Yeah. So we'll be staffing it basically probably about 5 to 8, and then it'll be kind of a premium membership to where you can get 24 hour access out in that area, which I don't even think really exists right now over there. So
what's your to kind of wrap this up, what's the number one piece of advice you give to somebody who's either wanting to start in sports performance or start a gym, start a business in the fitness industry? What's your best advice to somebody who is looking to do that?
The best advice would be just focus on treating people right. I mean, that's just the biggest thing. I mean, when I do anything in business when it comes to the sales side, is eliminate the sales part of it. Just find a way to actually genuinely care about people getting better, and the sales will come. I mean, in reality, it's normally the opposite in fitness. It's
how long did it take, Tommy? How long did it take Bryce to ask you for any kind of money?
He hasn't asked me for a penny.
I knew that already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing. You just got to be willing to put in sacrifice, whether it's time or investing, and that doesn't necessarily mean money. It could just be a whole lot of things. Just be investing time into people, or just time into...
The number one thing you can give somebody is your time.
Yeah,
and people don't really... I think at a younger age, people don't really grasp that because they think that it's expected of them when you're younger. Like, I have to put in my time, right? But they don't realize that like time is super valuable and that you should be giving it, and it's a good thing. And then it's so weird how I feel like you get to a certain age where as soon as you have a friend who, let's say, you've been grinding for years, and you have a friend who's starting to, like, in quotes, make it. They're starting to make good money. They're starting to get further in their career, and all of a sudden their mind starts to skew into entitlement, and they're like, now I expect more from wherever I'm working or whatever I'm doing because so-and-so, it's paying off for them faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing also. I mean, fitness, sports performance especially, but fitness, it's a very ego-driven industry.
Right.
And if you can kind of take a business approach of just, like we said, focus on your product, whether that's you or if that's your staff, take the approach of generally trying to care people instead of generally caring about the bottom line, because then it'll take care of itself. And that was what happened when
if you focus on making money, you ain't going to make any money.
And that's the thing. If you're chasing money, you always chase it. And when I first started LA Fitness, I had a whole training thing they had you go through, bring someone in, set them down your desk, take them through a whole questionnaire, then tour,
script,
then everything. And I don't know where I got the comments from then, but literally the first tour I just took them immediately around the gym, said screw the questionnaire, actually hung out with the person, and then sat them down and didn't go through the whole, started high price and worked down, and hey, like, we can go get my manager approval, was just ask them what they needed.
Dude, the old let me go get my manager.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's what they still do.
It's unbelievable.
Is it the monthly that I can help you with, or is it the down payment up front that I need to help with? But I can't. This one time, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just even from then,
bring out the guy with the gold rings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, from then on, it was hey, people generally, they're not buying a gym membership when they come into a gym. They're buying you because if they're already determined they want a gym membership. So you don't have to sell them on that. You have to sell them on the experience of being in there. They don't want to be sold. They've already sold themselves.
Right. That's what I was about to say. I feel like the hardest thing, like as an athlete, like finding like trainers in a gym that I like and enjoy going to consistently is just like having coaches and trainers like Bryce, like somebody that's not gonna try and sell themselves to me, but they just I don't know, they sell that like Bryce, like he unintentionally like sells himself, like just how he acts, like how he trains people.
He's never in a hurry to sell you. You know what I mean? He's always just like hanging out with you, making you feel comfortable.
He's not too much. He's not over the top. Like he's not one of those guys that's just going to be like in your face and just turn into an asshole. Like if you decide, things aren't going to work out here at this gym, I'm going to go somewhere else. Like, like I've gotten my ass chewed out by trainers because they get pissed off because I don't like, how I'm working with them or whatever. But I mean, yeah, it's just like Bryce just got a great thing going for him. I mean, he's just super genuine. He is who he is. And it's just, I feel like for him, it's one of those things where like, if you like me and like where I'm at, then like I would love to keep going with you, but he's not going to be too much in your face.
Yeah, he's certainly not desperate for your business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And there's, I will say that, I talked to some other high level athletes, paid professional athletes, and they've talked about coaches they've had in the past. And these were guys that were fringe dudes that just, you know, they weren't getting paid a ton of money. And I'll never forget them talking to us, being like, yeah, man, this coach, you know, wanted to, you know, I gave him 10 grand for coaching. And I was like, holy shit, like 10 grand?
Yeah.
Like, what magic is this dude talking about? Because we all, you know, I know a lot of personal trainers. I don't know, let's say, you know, strength coaches or, you know, something, you know, high level coaches that do professional athletes. But I'm like, what do they know that my trainer friends don't know? You know what I mean? And I was like, 10 grand. And he was like, yeah. And he's like, that was like 2 months ago. Now he wants another 10 grand.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, oh no. So, you know, and it was so funny because, you know, as this has progressed, it's been awesome to see Bryce progress and grow that side of his business quite a bit. And I know that I'm like, hey, Bryce, have you ever asked these people for money? He's like, no, man, they'll take care of me. I know that, like, if I need something, I'll, you know, they'll be able to take care of me and vice versa and so forth. And like, I've had him, like, you know, donate money to a charity I like as an example of, like, you know, payment for me as an example. And it's just like, dude, I've watching him all of a sudden go from training, you know, 1 guy to 3 guys to 5 guys to then you were doing the entire offense there last year.
Right. There's a reason why so many guys like keep coming back to Bryce, and why more people are coming to him, you know. Yeah, it's just, like I said, like as an athlete, like we just want somebody genuine that's just like we know that we want someone that we know exactly what we're going to get every single time with him. Like, you know, we want somebody consistent and yeah,
it's who he is. You know what I mean? Like I said, like, you know, you feel like you know who they are as a person, and like they're going to have your best interest, and genuinely you can trust them. And that's the thing that's the hardest to find. And you know, I think the irony in all this is like, you know, the relationship that you'd had in the past with the previous person you worked with in business, it was like trust was the hardest thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was the hardest thing for you guys, and it was like,
I mean, and it's kind of like things always. If
and
trust
like
leaves,
your success is, you know, your stars rising, and like other people in business aren't doing as well. And it's like, well, dude, man, how much have you tried to be a stand-up good person? You know, are you thinking long term or your actions short term? And I feel like all your actions have always been long term.
Yeah, and then that, to answer your question, Kyle, is the exact same thing. I mean, if you're focused on what really matters, then over time, it might not happen as quick, but the sustainability, the retention, everything I've done has always been basically, when it's in business for myself, is all referral based because of that. So you never really have to, I mean, obviously you want to be smart in your marketing and everything to tell other people. And I've been very fortunate to where I haven't really had to go that route because people, their word of mouth's been awesome. They enjoy the experience they get, and it's because they generally trust that what you're telling them is true, and you're not trying to sell them on anything. So that's the biggest thing I would tell somebody, anything fitness wise, whether you're doing a gym or you're trying to be a trainer or whatever you're trying to do. Sell yourself. Think about that. Don't sell what your product is. Sell yourself by being who you are, that person. And if they want you, they'll do what you buy what you're giving them.
And the last thing I'll say on this, just because I have personal experience with Bryce on this, is that something that you do. You know, when I met Bryce, Kyle and I only had one store. You know, our success wasn't guaranteed. You know, we didn't have a lot of employees that were working for us at the time. And since I met him, he has, you know, hand brought us customers into the store that had never shopped with us before. And it was all based on his referral to us. Bryce has never asked me for anything in return. He's never asked for a free supplement. He pays for all of his own supplements. He comes into the store on his own to buy them. He's had his, you know, his athletes come in and buy supplements, you know, and it's like one of those things where it's just crazy that he's never looked for anything in return. But anytime I can ever help him out, I always try to help him out, because I just know that it's one of those things where, you know, he puts it out in the universe, and, you know, if you give, you're going to get back, you know, and it's just an organic experience of that. But just, guys, the more you can give when it comes to the fitness industry, because everything is so ego driven typically, if you can just actually stand up and, you know, be a good person and look out for others and be selfless, it's really, really, really fast how quick you can rise in this industry, because of how awful some of the business people are in this industry.
Stand out.
So that's the other thing I always tell people is, and it's going to sound kind of arrogant, but I'm not meaning it that way, is there's no business minded people in fitness when it comes to gyms. It's last resort, and it's people that normally that get involved is, hey, I've got a criminal background, or I've got something where I can't go get, I need a quick job. Then they end up staying in it, and then they're in the industry for 25 years, and they become the same high pressure person that trained them, and then eventually they try to go do their own gym, and it's just all been off this corporate model of just sell. So when you actually come with this strategic mindset, the competition isn't as thick as any other industry. Kind of a bunch of people that actually have strategy behind what they're doing. Normally, it's I know how to run a gym. I lift in a gym. I can own a gym.
It's all the same as supplement stores, man.
It's same. Yeah, you guys get it. I mean, it's just like who you're going up against is if you just generally.
It'll be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always the thought process. So, all right, man. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for coming on. If
Tommy, I don't want to see you on the field at all the rest of the season. Hopefully.
Yeah, dude. Before we get off, we gotta ask him, what was it like that game that you just literally had 0 punts?
It's so weird. I didn't have the very first game ever that I had 0 punts, and I'm talking like high school, college, and I guess like pros. Like I went all regular season last year without a game that had 0 punts. And the very first round of the playoffs for us, so I guess this second round, divisional round, I stroll in there and I'm like, okay, like probably thinking like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get a couple punts. Like it's playoffs, like, you know. Blink my eyes, game's over. I'm in the locker room and I'm sitting there, like Pat's locker was next to me last year, and I was like, dude, we had 0 punts.
You made my job really easy today. And can you believe I made a game check?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I was like, that's crazy. That's never happened to me before. Like I've had 0 punts, so thank you. And then of course, like, yeah, it happened again this year. I mean,
and the other guy didn't punt at all either.
Yeah,
that's never happened, right?
So that's the weird thing about it. That's actually, I think the past game that it happened.
That was Philly. Yeah.
It was only the 5th time ever in NFL history where there's been a game that like neither team has punted.
That's wild.
So,
and it wasn't even like that. It's like it wasn't that high scoring.
Yeah, I mean it was 42. 49.
I didn't even notice that.
No, but
if
I mean,
you
like,
told me that about that game, I'd have been like, no way.
Eagles didn't get within 7, did they?
By the end, it was like 10 or something. Like they came back. It was garbage time. But
it was there was very few like possessions in that game.
The season before they had that game against the Rams. There was like 51-53.
Yeah,
and even they have punted in that game.
That was one of the greatest games.
That was
unbelievable.
That was a Monday night
football. Yeah. Sean McVay's first year, so he was just all offense. It was wild. Anyway, sorry.
Just a lot of long drives.
It was unreal. And so here, for all the people that don't, know and appreciate the art that is punting, they see you go out on the field and they're like, what's Tommy doing out there? And I'm like, dude, he's checking the wind. He's checking the direction of everything out there, right? That's what you're doing?
Yeah. I go out there when there's like any type of TV break or timeout or whatever. Like I'll run out on the field, pick up some grass and just toss it. Because a lot of time in stadiums, the wind will either like swirl, stay constant, or it'll change direction. Like so for example, traditionally in Arrowhead, the wind is always coming towards my side or the Chiefs sideline. But sometimes it flips, and it actually flipped during the game, like in the third quarter, like when we had come back out on the field, like after that delay, the wind had flipped and it started blowing the opposite direction. So it was, it's just kind of like a mind game with the wind. You just kind of have to like figure out what it's doing and make some small adjustments, accordingly. So
when you drop the ball, do you have to adjust it purely on the wind just from how you drop it to your foot?
Yeah, especially if it's really windy, like depending on like how much wind or whatever, like when it's windy, I always lower my drop just so there's less time between like me physically dropping the ball and kicking the ball.
Right.
Like the least amount of movement possible is best. But yeah, like I said, depending on the wind, like sometimes I'll angle the ball, like the nose of the ball in to try and hit like a really tight spinning ball. Like if there's wind in my face, to try and like cut through the wind. Mm-hmm. So
Is it really a lot different because you came from Florida? Is it a lot different kicking when it's like freezing here? It gets down to like 0 degrees.
Yeah. So it actually
like kicking a rock.
Honestly, last year, I think it was like week 6 or something like that. About this time last year, it was like October 16th or something like that when we played Denver in Denver, and it was snowing and 16 degrees, and that was the coldest weather I'd ever been in up until that point. So a little bit of a
Florida boy not liking that.
Yeah, a little bit of a learning curve when it came to that. So
we've already gone down like punting history a little bit, but we gotta talk about the dude that hit the double punt. That was like last weekend.
Yeah,
was that just mind blowing for you? That dude crushed it too on the second one.
Yeah, he had a really good punt. It was.
What happened for our listeners? They don't even know.
So long story short, it was the Seahawks. Can't remember who the Seahawks were playing, but Seahawks were out to punt. Ball snapped.
San Francisco?
Maybe. I think San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco, yeah.
Yeah, but ball snapped. Punt gets blocked. Ball flies out to the left. The punter runs out, scoops it up one-handed, which was pretty impressive.
The
he was
scoop alone was crazy.
He was like full out sprint, like one-handed scoop. And he gets up to the line of scrimmage and he punts the ball, and most of his body's past the line of scrimmage. So there were a lot of things that people were talking about, like, okay, like what the hell just happened, and why did that play like allowed to like
continue?
Stay on the field. So one, I talked to like a handful of people about it. One, apparently you're allowed to punt the ball twice, and obviously that stood, but traditionally what had been taught in the past is if a punt's blocked, pick it up and run it.
Right. I couldn't believe he kicked it again.
Yeah.
And there was people around him and shit. Like it wasn't like he had all day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing. You can punt the ball twice. Another thing, you can punt the ball past the line of scrimmage as long as you have a piece of your body like on the line of scrimmage. It's the same thing as like throwing a pass. So he was able to do that. And the third thing that people were questioning was, so in the NFL, when the ball's snapped for a punt, the only people that can release are the gunners. Like all the inside players have to like stay in block until
the ball is kicked.
And so a lot of people were saying like, oh, like how was the ball like, besides all the other factors, like how was the ball like still kicked and how is it still in play, like with everybody running downfield? So
because it was blocked, they can run downfield.
Yeah. So after the first punt, like you can release downfield, and if it's punted again, there's no penalty if people are downfield. Yeah. So I mean that kind of like opens up a whole nother window of like.
Because that was what made the punt even more like incredible, because like there was always people to defend it, so they had to basically call a fair catch, right? Or was it actually returned?
It wasn't returned. The returner like ran up because he saw it was blocked and he saw the guy running it. So the returner like came up to kind of like play defense on it, and the guy just blooped it down there, and
it was like 65
rolled
yards.
out like 65. Yeah.
It looks like a complete train wreck until he punted it the second time. I was like, oh my god, that worked.
And then not only did it work, but like it was like a phenomenal punt. Because the dude kept dribbling, and so it was like
completely flipped the field. Yeah,
that guy. Yeah, I was like that's like an all-time punt.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's madness.
You and your punting coach have been working on the double punt since then.
Have you not drilled that though? Like, have you not drilled it since? Like, how fun would that be?
Oh, well, it wouldn't be that fun because you're getting that first punt block and you're like, oh shit. Like,
but I'm saying like in practice to like at least I would say like I'm saying to drill it. I don't want to do it in real life.
Yeah, I mean we've like talked like scenarios and stuff, and like I did like a little bit of like rollout punting in college, like not much, but like so I mean I think I could kick a ball on the run, but yeah, I feel like it kind of opens up a little bit of a window to experiment with some things.
It's been crazy to get to know like the intricacies of special team rules the last couple of years. Like,
right, hanging out with a lot of specialists. Yeah,
and like I mean the Browns game, first game of the year when who was it? You punted it, and I think we were punting the Browns guy. We touched it, but we didn't down it yet. But when you touch it, the Browns guy can just get a free
pick it
play.
up and run.
Yeah, it's no consequences.
It's free play. Yeah.
So he picks it up, starts running, gets tackled in the end zone, and everyone goes nuts. And then they call it back, and everyone's booing because they don't understand what the heck just happened. But I never realized that it was a no consequence. Like literally, if he ran it to the house, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
But if he fumbles, or does whatever,
consequence. The ball's like spotted. Like,
but I thought that we got like a safety or something for that.
No,
it was supposed to be a touchdown. So like when the ball was kicked, the returner was like under it, and also like he had some huge nuts to be able to like let that ball drop because he took us like one step in front of the ball and it went straight down his back. Like the ball almost hit him, and like off the bounce could have easily hit him. The type of kick it was just the pooch punt, end over end punt. Like that's a 50-50 ball. Like sometimes it bounces forward, sometimes it bounces backwards. So the fact that like he like stepped in front of it and let it hit, like I was like okay. But anyways, the ball hit, was going towards the end zone. Our snapper like barely like touched it and like knocked it back.
Let's give Winchester his due right there.
Yeah, it's not just blow past.
Let's not post past James, the man himself.
Winchester,
sorry,
of course. Shout out James Winchester.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so the ball, he hits the ball and bounces and kind of like settles, and the returner goes and picks it up because he's like, oh, that he touched it, free play. So he picks it up. And as soon as he picks it up, one of our gunners like just tries to snatch the ball like out of his hands or whatever. That's what
it was, a touchdown.
Yeah, ends up ripping it out and like dives in the end zone, and like everyone's like going crazy, like oh like touchdown.
That should be, yeah.
But there were like some Browns players down there, like they were like laughing about it. They're like oh like like, that's bullshit. Like, like, that's like, what it is. Like, the rules, and like everyone's like laughing. They're like, no, touchdown, just like kind of like bullshit, like back and forth. Like, even though like we knew, like, yeah, but yeah.
like, was the team not like irate? Like, come on, that's a real touchdown, right? Like, come on.
No, because everyone knows the rules. The fans were irate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I thought what we were
And
saying.
I'll be honest, I was irate. I had no idea. I had no idea.
The guys on the field, they were trying to like sell it as if it was like a touchdown. You know what I mean? Because like obviously you're gonna like try and get points however you can.
Yeah. But I thought that like we legitimately did like rip the ball out because you said it's a free play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
but there's no
consequences.
no matter what.
No consequences for punt return team. Yeah.
No matter what. Yeah. So even if like you fumble it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he can
right
house
there.
it. He gets it, but he fumbles.
Yeah.
Worst case, no, it's free.
And I had no idea what happened. Like I'm running down there, like I didn't obviously like I can't see that through like everybody, and like I see we scored, and of course like I start freaking out. I was like, oh
yeah.
shit. And then like when I got down there, I figured it out. Like once some of the Browns guys were like
that punt returner
stuff.
can't still have a job though.
No, that's a smart play.
No, I meant like from him letting the ball drop behind his back like that. That was just terrifying.
Typically returners will like bounce out, like they'll stand there for a second, then they'll like bounce out and like get away from it. But
For
like,
sure.
Yeah, the fact that like he like just like stepped forward and let it go like right behind him, I was like,
he had a plan. Yeah, can't fault him for it. He had a plan.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this much, and kind of on my little spiel on special teams, I now stay and watch the extra point every single time with full intent, and I do not go up and go pee after we score touchdowns.
Same, dude.
I watch the extra.
I watch all the punts a little more intent.
I watch
now.
Tommy's holds, and I watch James snaps, and I watch Harry try to sink it through the uprights.
fucking sink it.
How is Harrison doing? To the heights, Harrison. How's he doing?
To the height. I was about to say that looks like his logo right there.
What's that logo? It's probably a band logo, Luke.
That
What is
actually
it?
looks just like his logo.
What is it? Oh, it's Luke Benson. It's LB.
Oh no way!
Copyright
His
infringement
is like
right out of
super
Luke
similar,
Benson.
like with like the like so the bottom looks like sevens. So like his is like the sevens and it like is kind of like the H and so that's
For Harrison
actually
Butker,
that's
yeah.
almost identical to it. So like it looks like kind of like an angled B. Like I don't know if you can see like the angled like B like at the bottom. So like here. So like this is like the B.
Yeah.
You see the B.
Yeah.
And then that's the H, and then those like the
Those are
he has, like,
sevens.
2 sevens. Yeah.
So
so,
you
like,
basically just stole Harrison Butker's logo, Luke. Congrats, dude.
Luke, you're fired again this week.
fired.
Unbelievable. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad to hear he's doing well, man. Last time I talked to him, he's obviously a family man, and
Big time.
he's never hanging out and playing COD with us. That's for sure. Maybe one day.
Dedicated to the family. He's got a lot of kids and gives them all his time.
How many kids do you have now?
He's got 2. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was
Cole
like.
Quit's the one that has like 18.
Yeah, I have no idea.
He drives a
to be
Sprinter
honest.
van because it's got so many damn kids.
Hey,
Good for him.
I'm
kinda
close.
lit.
I had to
It's
get.
kinda lit.
I just got a Tahoe. I couldn't do the van yet, but
Yeah, he's got
I guess
the
if I have one more, I might have to
Decked
get the
out
van.
Mercedes Sprinter van.
Those are sweet.
To the
though.
9.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Good for him. Well, hey, we appreciate everybody who's been listening. As always, if you guys enjoyed the podcast, we'd appreciate it if you would please share it, like, subscribe, comment, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, it'll be there. And please
Thank
leave
you,
us a
guys.
review.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't even asked for one of those once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, Tommy, Bryce, love you guys. Appreciate you coming
Thank
out
you guys for
today.
coming
Thanks
on.
for having us.
Yeah.
Of course, appreciate y'all.
And that'll be it for now. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you guys.
We'll see you after the renovations are done.
Yeah. We're gonna come do a review at your guys' gym, and Tom, we need you to try out some protein. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, fuck yeah.